In here, we pour whiskey, 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 whiskey.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Whiskey Ginger. My guest today is one of my favorite people on earth. I say that for all my guests, but I mean it once again today. It's Dan St. Germain.
Thank you, buddy. What an intro.
What? Yeah, I want to hype up the guests, make them feel something. And you're wearing basketball shoes, so I wanted to make it so.
I'm wearing my Jordans.
What are those, Jordan 36s?
I have no. They're Jordan 100 on Amazon. I have no idea.
Jordan 100 on Amazon?
I have a price I want to hit with my shoes.
It's always $100?
It's around 100. You know, once I book another gig, or
Every
if
gig you
this
book?
goes to series, this show goes to series, I'll bump up to 200. But
What show are you working on right now? Are you working
me and
on
Soder got a cartoon. We're on like developing a Peacock with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Shut
It's
up.
kind of wild, yeah. If we do it, you'll definitely do a voice on
Thank
it.
you.
I
Is
don't
he
know,
involved, Stone Cold?
Yeah, dude, we sold the show with him.
Oh, so he was like a part
We
of the
were
process.
pitching with Steve.
What?
Like, it was hilarious. Like, it was like we'd have a good... You've pitched a bunch of shows, right?
Yeah, but almost always, if you have a big name like that,
That's why you sell.
sometimes
Yeah,
they
I've
just,
done that.
But sometimes they don't show up. They're like, yeah, you can use my
True.
name, and I'll just be a part of it later. And you're like, all right.
I've pitched a lot, sold a couple, but the ones that I've sold, like one I went into one with Jake Johnson,
Yeah.
and like the executives started wrestling Jake, and I was like, oh, we're selling
Yeah.
selling this.
Yeah, they're gonna buy
But
it.
Steve, it was hilarious because like if a pitch went great, he'd be like, all right. But if it didn't go great, he goes, I think y'all need to put a little more stink on it. It'd be like
all right, Steve.
you know,
Y'all
you're
gotta
like,
understand.
God.
Can't be a dumb bitch when you get in the room.
That,
But it was awesome. I mean, he's awesome. So
that was like one of my favorite of all time, of all of the shitty MTV Punk. That one was the best, where like the guy was being rude to the valet.
oh, dude, and he like looked like he was about to like beat his fucking
It was awesome.
ass.
He
He's like, you're a stupid son of a bitch. You know that?
yeah,
And
yeah.
the dude, the actor, whoever it was, you could tell there was a moment when he thought, I got to break because this guy's going to knock me out.
Yeah.
Like Stone Cold's going to literally knock me
Yeah,
out.
yeah, for sure.
And everyone as an audience was like, punch him, dude. Just punch him, Steve. Just
It was
knock him out.
the greatest Punk because like then I've seen ones. Did you see the one where like who's I think like somebody almost started crying. It was like Justin Timberlake.
Timberlake, yeah, when they
he started like
yeah.
crying, and you're like, oh,
They removed all of his goods from his home.
Yeah, you're
that's
like,
a tough one.
"That's so lame.
Would you just be like, don't air this? I'd be like, don't air that, dude. I'll give you money to
yeah,
not air that.
I would say I
Don't
wouldn't
air
start
it.
crying.
No, no.
You know,
Don't.
I
Please
guess
don't air it.
that guy had all that trauma though from like Lou Pearlman, like just taking all the fucking
All those childhood
shit from
stars,
them.
they were so abused and so like
Yeah.
grossly overused.
You saw the
and,
Disney thing?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's
No, I
it's
didn't
rough.
watch it. I saw in the zeitgeist of the internet now. You don't even need to watch anything. Everyone just tells
See
you
enough
all of it.
clips.
Yeah, it's disgusting, is all it is. But it's not like anybody's surprised.
No, not on that one.
People
no.
are taking advantage of all these young kids. You're like, yeah, this is gross. It felt gross anyway.
I mean, yeah, think back in the day when like Shirley Temple's just like, you know, smoking a pack of Reds, you know, with all like the fucking midgets from
When she was
Wizard
like
of
11 or
Oz.
something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah,
like
it's insane.
like
I watched a documentary yesterday on the plane ride home about Rock Hudson, about like him having to hide his sexuality. But the funny thing was,
I heard that's great. That's the
it's
HBO
really
one,
good.
right?
Dude, if Rock Hudson was alive today, though, the internet would have clipped him within the first year of his like partying, because he would go out in West Hollywood and just like
Yeah.
they would like collect dudes and bring them back to his castle, is what they called it. And he'd have like 30 dudes, and it was like, you know, all a legit party. Everybody wanted to be there, but it was part of the conversation that they were like, you can't tell anybody that you were at Rock Hudson's house, but that was all his staff. He didn't care. It almost felt like he
Wild.
kind of wanted people to know he was gay and didn't give a shit, but everyone around him was like, come on, dude, we gotta
Wild.
protect the bag.
Dude, I mean, like, I would be having such a fun time. Like, I never get propositioned by women anymore. You know, I'm married, but like,
Yeah.
this week I just got a casual message from some guy. He's like, because he saw a bit of mine. He says, because I bet I had a gay experience in college. He's like, hey man, you want me to suck your dick? And I was like, no, I'm good.
But that's so nice. Thank you,
I'm
though.
married. I said, hey, that's really nice. He goes, all right, well, you're looking good. And I was like, thanks, buddy.
Thank you, dude.
You know, like,
I've been propositioned a few times on the road by men asking me to sleep with their wives, even if I was single. No, thank you.
yeah,
I have zero
that's a
interest in
lot
that.
of because you first off, you don't know when like the guy's gonna like flip and then all of a sudden just
and
beat
kill
you to death.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're in his home. Also, they want to be there to watch is a whole thing. And this multiple times. The first time I ever got asked was years ago, and I thought he was like joking around.
Right.
And he kept pushing me about it. And then I was like,
haven't
dude, leave
known
me
any
alone.
white guys that's happened to. I've known a couple black guys, so good for you, buddy.
I'm kind of black. There's parts of me that are black.
good
I mean,
for
I'm
you.
rare like a black guy. You
You're
know what I mean?
rare.
I'm rare. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're half ginger. You're like not one of us.
I'm
but
not. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not fully ginger.
We'd walk you into the meeting, but we'd have to like pat you down and make sure you're still valid.
It would be like Black Klansman, but with gingers.
Yeah. No, I got asked a few times, and it was I even thought, like, let's just say I'm a single guy. All of the negative things about it immediately enter your brain of like, well, I'm in your house. You're probably going to be filming this or something fucking
For sure.
crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
there's
never going to work out
Bubba the Love
positively.
Sponge it. Yeah.
Right. It's going to
For
be bad
sure.
no matter what. But getting offered for some guy to give you head is kind of rad, man. Good for you.
Yeah, I still got it apparently.
You still got. What was the gay experience in college?
I hooked up with this guy, he went down on me, straightest way to hook up. And I gave him a hand job, which is the gayest way to be gay.
Yeah.
But he ended up like winning a Tony. So like the one time I like went with gays, I like hit the LeBron James of gays.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Like the girls I hooked up with in college, they work at, fucking Guitar Center now, or I don't know where they're at. So like I should have stayed in my lane because I would have been having a lot more fun, I think, I'd probably be dead from like 80s AIDS.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like thick mustache AIDS. You know?
You would have gotten that. Yeah.
Yes.
The Rock Hudson stuff, the good stuff.
Yeah, like petitioning for Congress AIDS,
Right.
like in the 80s, like, with a blanket around you and shit.
You made the quilt. You were a quilt maker.
I made the quilt. I become the quilt.
Yeah. I saw that, by the way, in the documentary. They did show that quilt when they brought it to D.C. and they put it in front of the Washington Monument, And I remember as a kid hearing about it, because we're close to the same age. I'm 40.
Yeah,
How old are you?
I'm 40 in May, yeah.
So, like, I remember as a kid kind of hearing about that thing,
Mm-hmm.
but not really understanding, because I was like, what are they making them blankets for? Why are they doing that? Like, why do they need blankets? I didn't understand. It's like they're all quilting for these gay people. I was like, why is that important to the culture? And then you got older, you're like, oh, right, this is so like Congress would pay any attention to these people.
Dude,
they
it's
had to make
wild.
noise. Otherwise, Reagan was like, not interested.
No, not interested at all.
He was like, AIDS is gay.
well,
I'm
have you
not gonna
seen
do
those
anything
like
about it."
the speeches where Clinton's talking about it, and there's just like guys yelling in the back, like, "We're dying!
Yeah.
we're dying!"
He's like, that's
Must
not
have been
good.
fucking wild.
I'm
He's like,
sad that you're dead. I'll play sax at your funeral. Clinton attends gay funeral, plays sax. Yeah, no, they didn't. It was polarizing to see, because I watch these old Hollywood documentaries a lot to see.
Yeah.
Because there was things about the old days that were kind of beautiful, obviously, that had,
Right.
but there was a lot of sparkle on pieces of shit. But like the studio system was so interesting that they paid for everything. They literally bought your whole life. It's as if you didn't have to handle cash because they didn't want you to be aware of, what's really going on. So they were like, we'll pay for your house, food, car service. So you didn't see a bill. They didn't see they said Rock Hudson just didn't handle money. And the only reason he needed money was when he went out at night to clubs. So that's why there was this big disparity of like, we can't give him cash because then we know he'll be up to no good again. So he needed money to go out to go party, but they wanted to keep him isolated, being like, don't you have a beautiful home? Like, you have all the shit you need, right?
In some way, like, look, is that confining? But like now living in the day where like you can't just be a comedic actor, you got to be a stand-up, you got to have
everything.
2 podcasts,
Yeah.
you got to like fucking start an LLC for God's,
Right.
like, it's there is something comforting about just somebody like it's just a cat, like being Priscilla Presley,
Yeah.
like just a kept person.
Well, I think being in the kind of the toughest thing about being in the arts or whatever you want to say is like now people are making less art because you're trying to keep up with the business. That's the hardest part. You're like, I have to do all the shit, and I also have to make the thing, but I have to keep doing the thing to make sure I'm able to do
Dude,
the
and
shit.
if you don't, because I don't have a social media guy, so it's like me. I'm like making sure, okay, to hit the algorithm, I've got to make sure it comes in at 3 p.m.
It's insane. It's terrible.
Yeah, you're like trying to mainline heroin or something. It's crazy, dude.
By the way, I'm sorry you talked about this off camera before you got in. I should have removed the bottles, but
Oh, no, it's fine.
There's a
It's
massive
fine.
bar, but you're 6 months sober. It's good.
6 months back, yeah. Been going to meetings for like 18 years. But 6 months. I went on a bad one after my mom died last year, so
Tough.
now I'm like, so now I'm back out of the woods after that,
But you're healthy again. You're happy again.
Healthy again, happy again, doing stand-up again, writing again, all that kind of shit. I miss
that's
it
good.
here a little bit, man. We used to go to Cafe 101, you and I, for
Yeah.
dinner before that place got shut down.
Well,
I
they
guess
made
it's something else
They made
now.
it something else, and I don't go over there anymore.
No, I don't like the why change it? Like that was like such a fun LA place.
This is the problem. Los Angeles is so transient, both in its like
Yeah.
businesses and people, that nothing can stay here. We don't keep anything. The only things that are kept here were already here for 50 years. But if
Yeah.
you're relatively new, like you were birthed in the 80s and the 90s in LA, you're gone.
Yeah.
They're gonna move on. Something else needs to get in that business, and those people want to sell because they're like, "Fuck it, it's worth money. We'll
Yeah.
sell the business and get out of town."
Yeah, I went on a Black Dahlia tour when I lived here.
Oh yeah.
And at the very end of it goes, we'd show you the house where they found, the body, but it's a Krispy Kreme.
How appropriate. That's perfect. That is absolutely
It is
perfect.
It's every true crime tour guide, by the way, he was like just covered in cat hair.
Yeah.
Like I've never just like,
Yeah. He should be.
He should be.
Well, you
yeah.
said after before the show too, you have 3 dogs. You didn't. You
Three
used to
dogs,
only
dude.
have
How many
one.
dogs do you guys
We
have?
only have one now. We're getting another one.
Oh, nice. What do you think I was thinking?
I don't know, man. Like there's just
such a
whatever
dog
the
weirdo,
mutt
bro.
hut up the street. We're
Right,
just gonna grab one of those
whatever's
idiots.
like not gonna get put. Whatever's like 2 days from getting put down.
Yeah, just grab a moron and then take it in and have fun with it. Something that was it was one that was probably living in a barrio in East LA,
Right.
that was kicked out of a home and then now was eating street scraps, and so we get those things. They have diarrhea
nice.
for like, a month, and then they level out. Once you
Yeah.
get to the worms and everything, the dogs are great. But
Yeah,
those
we're
street mutt dogs.
we're our third one right now, and we'll probably get. I don't think we can get any less than 3. That's what my wife told me. She's like, I need
no
3.
less than 3.
No less than.
Holy
3.
shit.
She's like, I need 3. She wants 4. I'm like, we live in a fucking 2-bedroom in Queens. Dude.
That's a lot.
You
Yeah.
can't do that,
But, I mean, if it provides some sort of happiness and safety and whatever you need, who gives a shit?
I love it. They're a lot. They're a lot. They're on us all the time.
No
And
cats, though, right?
No cats. I'm allergic to cats.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Yeah, are you?
I feel like we're supposed. Yeah, I think everybody is allergic to cats, and then
It's like we shouldn't drink milk. It's
Right.
like one of those things.
But we do it
Even though
anyway.
I drink milk all the time.
right.
Just before I got here, I was just chugging down half and half in my car.
I've tried to go the route of the popular oat almond. So whatever.
You do feel better afterwards.
You do, but the flavor of rich, thick, fatty milk is untouched.
Have you always been thin?
I went through like little heavier phases, but never
Right.
like big.
You've always looked pretty good.
Well, I have cognizantly punished myself when I overeat, and then feel so much shame about it that I like hurt myself, and then I get back to like where I need to be.
Yeah,
so
I'm like
I
Ricky
abuse
Lake. I
myself and I go
fluctuate.
back. You're Ricky Lake.
I'm up and down, all the time. Too big now. I broke my friend's toilet yesterday, so I'm like, all right, we
Oh
got
shit.
If I'm becoming like a fucking scene from The Clumps, I've got to like work this out, like Jesus.
What did you? You
Christ.
sat down and turned too fast
Dude,
and then snapped?
I was taking a shit. I didn't even just sit down. I taking a shit, and I felt it crack underneath me like the fucking San Andreas fault. Yes, and you call somebody because I'm staying at their place watching their dog, and I'm like, I gotta go buy you guys a new toilet seat, and they're and you could just hear in their mouth like, well, we're never having you again. I
Oh,
totally
that's okay.
understandable. They're like, it's okay.
Okay, were you standing on it? Were you jumping on the toilet looking for something above?
So you're not drinking right now.
Yeah. No, but that chair's been broken. I've talked about this. That chair's been broken and it's not breaking right now. So look at that.
Hey, there you go.
People broke that chair
Rest
before.
in peace, Ralphie May.
Yeah, Patrice sat on Ralphie's lap on this show one time.
they were like a Russian doll set.
Yeah, dude. When you come in, then you stay. So you always stay at friends' houses, or do you ever want to sneak
No, I'm
away
staying
to a
in
hotel?
Airbnb for the rest of the time here. I
You
was
don't
in a
like
hotel
hotels?
for a couple days.
Okay.
And then I went to my friend's place for a couple days because they were out of town. I was at another friend's place last night, and then now I'm at Airbnb for the rest of it. And I think I'd prefer to just do a hotel the next time for 2 weeks.
I like hotels only because
you don't have to look for a key. and
yeah, I don't feel
figure
guilty
out-
about hotels because you can just kind of get in, fuck it up, trash it, and then leave
Yeah.
and not feel. It's just
Just starfish on the bed. Throw a
yeah.
pizza
I don't want
box
to feel
on there.
weird about somebody's house, about being like, oh man, I'm in this person's house and maybe I shouldn't smoke in here or something. Whatever that is.
Plus, have you seen that? There's that horror movie like Dave Franco did, like Rental, where it's like, it's okay, but it's pretty good. But like the guy like makes copies of the keys and comes in and like,
Yeah.
kills everybody. Like not that can't happen in a hotel, but I feel like it's more likely to happen in somebody's.
It's probably never going to
house.
happen at a hotel. The rarity
Never
of that
gonna
would be
happen in
through
a
the roof.
hotel.
Yeah. Someone can do that in Airbnb so easily.
Yes.
Come
yes.
back.
And I've lived in places in New York that are shady. Like I used to live in Washington Heights when I was like 22, 23, and my landlord used the living room as an office. So like imagine bringing a girl home and there would be a giant TV with black and white security footage of the whole building.
Oh my God.
And you have to explain that like, don't worry, I'm not the Golden State Killer.
This isn't for us. This is for security, for safety. For your safety, in fact.
The places I fucking live, dude.
But now you're happy you're in Queens again.
Yeah, we live in a nice little, complex.
No.
But New York and LA are both shittier since when we've last 10 years.
Yeah,
the last 5 years. We both seen the
do?
decline of Western civilization. Both you and I.
Where would we go though? That's my problem. Where would you go?
You can't. Well, I guess rich people are buying really rich people are just buying compounds now. Apparently, fresh water deposits.
What am I gonna do out there?
Oh, I'm fucked, dude. Because I'm never. Even if I have a good year, I'm still not in the bracket of great. I'm not that's Rogan money.
But yeah,
do you know what I mean? You need to have
do?
Rogan money to get fresh water deposits.
Yeah, and also that what? So you got to wait for that $250 million check to come in, and that's insane.
Right.
It's not
and
realistic.
At that point, is currency devalued anyway.
Right.
You
so who
wonder,
cares?
What's real?
So
Yeah.
let's die happy in Queens with 3 dogs.
Exactly. Although I'd like to be upstate. I think. Do you guys just have the one place, or you guys have another little?
No,
escape place?
we have our spot here. We do just little getaways, but we don't have a place.
love
We
that,
just get away, and we'll just go stay somewhere for a little while. Which I wish I had another place somewhere to go to, but I don't mind just getting in a hotel and living somewhere for a little while.
I don't mind like we're going to the Poconos for a couple days and just living like a normal person would live for 4 days. That's my idea of a vacation now.
But upstate's great.
Yeah, I like it up there. I'd love to get a tiny place in the Catskills if I ever, if financially I could afford it.
Well,
I guess.
make your girl start that OnlyFans you guys have been talking about.
Oh, for sure,
You can
man.
put all that stuff in your ass and make
Dude,
some money.
for sure. I've thought about that. Dude, there's some people I know that are making 40 to 70K on OnlyFans a month, doing not even sex acts. Just
Really?
pictures of asses and shit. Yeah.
I'll show my pipe for $40K a month.
For sure, dude.
Yeah, that's insane.
Are you kidding me?
And what would be the
Dude, there's both you and I have done road gigs that are way more humiliating than showing
Yeah,
our dick
dude,
on fucking camera.
100%.
Are you kidding me?
Were you staying in a Motel 6 and the hum of the Pepsi machine right outside keeps you awake?
Yeah.
Those moments will be burned into my sad brain for the rest of my
God,
life.
That's the worst ASMR ever. When you just hear the Mountain Dew rattle. Yeah. Sounds like a dead man's arm.
Oh my God, I hate it so much.
Dude.
And people just coming going all night long. It's like that scene in Big when he's a kid and he first moves to New York and the gunshots are right outside.
No, that's exactly what it is.
That's what it feels
You're
like.
having that, but when you're 35.
Yeah, it's awful. Now those days I'm glad are a little bit in the rear view, but it makes you happy when you do go to a place. That's why when I go somewhere and they're like, "What's on your rider?" and I'm like, "Nothing," and they're like, "You don't want anything?" I'm like, "No, I want to do a show and then go home."
Yeah.
I don't need to make this anything other than it is. I'm just happy that we're here and we're doing it. Let's get the fuck upstate.
You don't have the Air Force Ones in every
Yeah, that's
green
insane.
room.
What is that? Yeah, who was that? Aries
Eddie
Spears.
Griffin, I think.
Oh, Eddie Griffin. Yeah,
I don't know.
Somebody would ask for shoes at every venue. I remember hearing that. They wanted a fresh pair of Air Force Ones at every venue. What a great demand.
I'm not in that category. I'm in the category where I'm happy they're giving me, a Westin instead of being like, "Oh, you're just staying with me and the kids." Have you ever had that? I had a gig once where I stayed with a guy and I'm waking up in the morning having breakfast with his whole fucking family and I'm looking around.
Uncle Dan is here. There's a new uncle every weekend.
And it was cut up hot dog pieces. I'm like, this is a Great Depression photo. This entire milieu.
Paint this, Norman Rockwell. Sad stand-up comic in other man's home, chumming through shit food.
In here, we pour whiskey.
Hey, this episode of Whiskey Ginger is brought to you by Squarespace. I've talked about Squarespace a lot on the show, and that's because I used it, I believe in it, I think you can use it too. Look, I'm a dum-dum. Told you that I said. I'm not a smart man, and I use Squarespace to design my site, to bring my dates and promotional stuff to all of my fans out there in the world, and that's why you can use it too. If you're designing a website from scratch, or if you're someone that already has all the ideas in your mind of how you want it all laid out, they can help you get where you want to go by creating the perfect site. Whether you're selling something, whether you're a personal trainer and you're trying to create scheduling on there, They have so many tools, the Blueprint AI and SEO tools. You can start a completely personalized website with the new guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint. Choose from professionally curated layout and styling options to build a unique online presence from the ground up, tailored to your brand or business, and optimized for every single device. That's huge, by the way. A lot of people ask about that. Is it desktop friendly? Is it mobile friendly? Squarespace makes it so simple for your fans to connect. They also have flexible payment options, checkout seamless for customers, whether you're selling something with powerful payment tools, accept credit cards and PayPal and Apple Pay. And in some eligible countries, customers have the option to buy now and pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay, which a lot of people love depending on what you're selling or what you're pushing out to the world. And I love the analytics. I've talked about this on here. Measure your end-to-end online performance with powerful website and seller analytics. Get insights and know where your top traffic hits are coming from and understand how to reach your audiences better, which I love because then I can know where you guys are so I can come see you and you can come see me live. All of that is done so simply and seamlessly by using Squarespace. You got to give it a try. If you're building a site and you really want to elevate it to the next level, try it out. Head over to squarespace.com/whiskey to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using code whiskey, my friends. All right, squarespace.com/whiskey. That code's going to be whiskey. It's going to save you 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This episode of Whiskey Ginger is brought to you by BetterHelp. I've talked so much about BetterHelp on this show. I believe in therapy. I do think it's incredible. I think it does wonderful things for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. Oftentimes, we don't realize how deep we are in the year. We're halfway through 2024, and a lot of people have reached a lot of their goals. Some people haven't reached any of their goals, and life is flying by quite quickly. And as we make adjustments for the second half of the year, maybe it's time to talk to someone about it. Help you slow down a little bit, help you level stuff out, and ease into stuff. And by doing that, I do think you create a better universe for yourself and those around you. And that's why I love it. I like BetterHelp for the same reason that I like anything that's online. I don't have to leave my house. I do like that. I get food delivered, and why not give therapy a try through the internet? If you're thinking about giving therapy a try, why not give BetterHelp a try? It's entirely done on the internet. It's all done online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Fill out a brief questionnaire. There's no wrong answers, trust me. Get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. It is simple. Do something for yourself this year, okay? Take a moment. Visit betterhelp.com/whiskey. That's BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/whiskey today to get 10% off your first month. betterhelp.com/whiskey today to get 10% off your first month. Hey, folks! Today's episode of Whiskey Junior is brought to you by Rabbit Hole Distillery, straight out of Louisville, Kentucky. These guys are seriously redefining what bourbon can be. I don't know what you say. I say Louisville, but some people say Louisville, depending on where you're from. But I got to tell you, they make some good sauce down there in Kentucky. Their motto, no shortcuts, no compromise, nothing left to chance. They're like the helicopter parents of bourbon, obsessing over every single little detail, and that they've done. It's paying off because their bourbon and rye whiskeys are snagging awards left and right. What sets them apart, bourbon is aged in charred barrels. That's what everybody says, right? Well, Rabbit Hole goes one step better. They char and toast their barrels because it makes it taste better. That's why. If you're curious, it makes it taste better. It's not just aging, it's flavor boosting on steroids, pulling out those deep, bold flavors that turn each sip into a velvety hug for your taste buds, huh? Give your tongue a little blanket of whiskey, all right? Looking for the perfect Father's Day gift? Don't just grab any old bottle. Grab a bottle of Rabbit Hole, whether your dad's a whiskey nerd or just getting started out. This might be the gift that finally makes him say, hey, I'm proud of you, kiddo. What are you waiting for? Head over to rabbitholedistillery.com/buy now. rabbitholedistillery.com/buy now. Use the magic promo code RABBIT to get $5 off your first order. Show Dad you got great taste. Dive into Rabbit Hole this Father's Day and gift something extraordinary. Please drink responsibly. I'm getting older. You are too. No one's getting younger. That's how the world works, okay? But as we get older, it's nice to have family and friends around us. And also, it's nice to know you got a little comfort blanket around you with life insurance. If you don't have life insurance, you probably should. You can get affordable life insurance online within minutes with ETHOS with no medical exams. None. Just answer a few health questions for a quote and apply for coverage at ethoslife.com/whiskey. Let me tell you something. I just got life insurance. I'm 40. And it's creeping up, and I want some protection for my family as we get older, because who knows what's going on. And with Ethos, makes it so simple. Get same-day coverage in 3 easy steps. Quick, easy, and all online. Answer a few health questions, 100% online. No medical exam required, which is rare, by the way. A lot of them do now, so this is great. See your rate in minutes. Term life policies start as low as $10 a month. $10 a month. Start your policy instantly, right away. All right, they've changed the way that finding life insurance was traditionally offered. They offer customizable coverage to fit your needs and budget. Get everything done online. No complicated forms, doctor appointments, or waiting for results. Answer some health questions online and get covered instantly. Term life insurance on your terms. Okay? Personalize your coverage to your family's needs, helping your kids through college, your spouse with a mortgage, your family with income replacement, and much, much more. Affordable options from 10 to 30 years of coverage. I've got it myself and because I needed it. And I think we all kind of need it. It's a little bit blanket of protection for those that you love very much as we move on through life. Be the parent you want to be. Get up to $2 million in term life insurance coverage in 10 minutes with Ethos. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethoslife.com/whiskey. That's Ethos, ETHOS life.com/whiskey.
Ginger. I like gingers.
Well, the condo days when you stayed in
Oh my
condos a
God,
lot.
the condo, dude.
That was tough. Those condos are really, really tough.
There's that one in Winnipeg that also had like old ladies there, and like you're like going to the gig and you're just seeing like old people wait for their families that don't show up
So
in the
sad.
lobby.
So sad.
Why
And
do
you
we
have
do this,
and you
man?
have to like pretend like it's totally okay and normal for you to be in that situation too.
I mean, you do like last night, I'm at the main room of the store. It's like, 400 people, and you're like, this is the life. Like you're like famous people are on the show, and then like immediately you're brought down to earth like a week later.
Yeah.
You're at a Quinta Inn, like with a gun in your mouth,
It does feel it's up and down, but look, you're up right now. You have a special out. Let's plug it,
On
baby.
YouTube, baby, free.
Free. Go watch it right now.
No paywall.
No paywall on YouTube. Now, do you do the thing where you let them donate to you on there?
I do. I put my Venmo, and then they also have something you can donate to 800
Yeah, that's the move. That's the move. Oh, 800 pound. Who you did
I
with?
think I did it. Yeah, they put some money in at the end. Like 2/3 funded by me, 1/3 funded by them. But they're great to work with. And
Yeah, they were awesome.
Your last one was Netflix, right?
Netflix and 800 pound.
And
yeah,
800
they did it
pound.
for. They did it with me.
And now is it on? Is it still like? Did it move from Netflix to like?
Just on Netflix now.
It's on
The next
Netflix
one
now.
I'm doing is with Hulu. I'm doing Hulu.
Oh, I heard they're doing stuff.
Yeah, I want to do Hulu. I'm moving
That should
away
be
from
good.
Netflix. Yeah, no more. I think they just. It's a lot over there, and I feel like maybe I want to try something new.
I love Hulu, dude. I have like my live TV set up.
That's
there
what I
and
do.
Stuff. Yeah.
That was part of my. I was literally like, I like the platform. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the reason, but it was like, I want to try something new. A lot of people are trying new.
Yeah.
There's a good list of names of people that are leaving, going over. So, who knows, man?
Hey,
this
Netflix,
thing is.
if you're looking for anybody while Santino
Yeah,
leaves,
you lost
I'm
me. Yeah,
open
you
for
lost me.
business.
Pick up
You're open for
Saint Germain.
the fatter, sweatier Ginger. I'm here.
No, Louis already exists. He is the fatter, sweatier ginger.
That is
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Has he been on the show?
No, dude. He's rarely in LA from what I know. And if he ever
Right.
is, I've never bugged him to be on the show because
Yeah.
him and I don't really know each other. So it's so funny. It's like all the time I've spent in New York and all the guys that I do know, he's one of those guys I just don't know. But I never,
Yeah.
it's always, I don't really try to ingratiate myself in situations where I just don't feel like I should. So if he's with people that I know, I'm not going to go over there and be like, hey,
Right.
I just never do that.
Yeah, I mean,
just
I've
don't
seen him
care.
at, like at the cellar table, and that's about it. And he's been, we've been totally fine, quite nice to each other. But like, is there any comic now? Like, I think like he's probably like one of the best, if not the best. Right?
He's the best right now.
He's
yeah.
probably the best.
Probably the best of all time.
Probably the best of all. He's probably the GOAT, right? But like, are there anyone? Because I can't think of it. Is there anyone in comedy you would be nervous around?
No.
Still, I don't think so.
No, I mean, I think
I think
don't
it's
know
just like sports guys. Like, there's maybe just a couple people from like maybe like if I saw Bruce Springsteen, I'd be nervous.
Jordan. Jordan would do it.
Jordan.
Yeah,
And he would make you feel nervous.
Yeah,
too.
I'd
he
feel
would
like
make you
shit.
feel nervous.
Yeah. He'd be like, nice shoes. You know what I mean? And then you'd look down and immediately be like, these are the worst shoes I've ever worn in my entire life. He hates my shoes. He fucking hates my shoes. He's mocking me.
It would not be fun.
No.
Like, you don't want to meet Michael Jordan.
Jordan would be tough, I think. Comedian-wise, no. I mean,
I can't think of anybody.
nobody
Is there
that's
any actor that you've been on where you like, oh,
No,
fuck.
fuck no.
I'm
Fuck
terrified.
that.
Yeah.
No, they're all fucking dorks.
Yeah.
No, I think a dead comics, Carlin would have scared the shit out of me to meet. I would have been scared of that.
I heard he was super nice, but yeah.
But that still would have intimidated the fuck out. I don't know. He would have been like
He would have been scary.
Pryor,
Pryor
probably.
probably would have been scary.
Yeah. But outside of those guys, nobody alive would like freak me out.
No, nobody would freak me out.
Well, that's the good thing about the internet. Of all the bad things, they know not to be a piece of shit to people now because people can just say that you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, they can. I mean, they can lie anyway. But yes, they can. It's very easy now. It's not like this. You read that book I Killed, where the stories about Carson just being a complete piece
of shit. Yeah,
piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, you can't get away with that anymore.
It is fucked up to think that guy was a kingmaker, and
The kingmaker,
but was so manipulative and so fucking evil. I mean, according to some of those stories.
Oh yeah, some of those stories are crazy.
That you're like, holy shit!
Didn't he like used to come back to his wife and be like, I fucked this girl at the office and like make jokes about it?
Yeah.
And she's like crying in the corner.
The lasagna's almost ready.
You know.
No, I think it just became more apparent that famous people couldn't be mean and get away with it anymore. I think people were tired of it, so a lot of people piped up and were like, I don't want to feel like shit anymore just because you're more famous than me.
Right. Yeah.
I think that changed a lot. Like our young generation, when we were young, the guys who were above us used to bump us all the time, and then now we're the guys. I don't bump anybody. I don't fucking walk in and bump. I ask for spots.
I'm not at bump level yet. The only time I bump was if I go in and it's a shitty bar show and I'm like, can I go first? You know, that's where I go.
Yeah, but that's not really bumping. That's kind of
really
like
bumping.
sliding up the lineup because you need to leave.
That's just sliding up the lineup and getting out of there. But yeah, no, I mean, you know, it's so weird now because, and I noticed this, I don't know if you noticed this, the guys above us, above class, have become so much nicer in the last, like, and not just because, like, oh, they probably saw, like, okay, these guys aren't just, like, they're not just a flash in the pan, they're in it.
Yeah, they're legit.
They're in it.
Right.
But also because, like, these new, like, TikTok guys and YouTube guys that just blew past almost everybody, that they're like, oh, at least these two guys are like real comics.
Right, and they've been around in the shit.
They've been around in the shit. Like, I'm going to be nice to them because this kid has been doing it 3 months and is selling out fucking theaters.
Well, yeah, I was talking to somebody where I just came in from out of town, and I was talking to the manager, and he was like, yeah, you probably won't recognize any of the names on the list on that board because I was looking at who's coming next.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anybody. For the first time in years, because
it's so nice though when you're on a show with those guys and you just like torch them,
just destroy,
just torch them. You know, like I'm like, I know you guys are getting all the bookings I should be getting, but I'm gonna make you fucking work for it.
Right. I didn't recognize one name, and it was kind of I don't know. It was like a moment of like, yeah, this is all changing in front of our face, so it is what it is.
Yeah, because they're a food and drink business. People were like, oh, they should book more comics. I'm like, no, they
sell chicken wings.
Yeah, they sell chicken wings.
Yeah.
They want their servers to come home with a couple $100.
Right. They don't want just comics who come in who are there for the craft. That's not their shit.
Yeah.
That's not their shit.
Yeah, they're not going to be like, I made $200 less, but this guy's really in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about that. Yeah. Did he push the drinks? Push the drinks.
That's what it is. It's just push the drink.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you'll see whenever you go to a club. It's the most like soul-sucking thing is to read the host copy where it's like, make sure to plug the drinks here.
Plug the drinks
plug
here.
the drinks here. Plugs the drinks here.
Well, I've asked very politely, but also as somewhat of a demand, that I was like, you can't play a video before I go on stage because I'm doing like a little club run.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can't do a video before I go on stage, and I shotgun. I don't want the host to go back up. And no one's had a problem with it, but also it's like I want my show the way I want my show. Like I sold these tickets. I don't want them to have to like watch a video about who might be coming in a month and a half, and then have a host go up and fill all this this time that to me, the thing I love the most about the store is we shotgun. There is no host. You just bring up the next guy.
Like have rock and roll playing when people come in, and then start the show.
That's how I like it. I don't know.
The show.
Like I think like the Cellar still does host. They still have someone come back. I've always been a fan of bring up the next comic. I don't know why, but I just like it.
Have you done the Stress Factory? They play America's Funniest Home Videos beforehand, and you're like, I'm not gonna beat fucking old guy
getting kicked in the nuts.
Getting kicked in the nuts? Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, that stuff drives me nuts. That's why I'm always like, please don't play the video. They don't need to be distracted from a thing that they're going to see by something else that doesn't exist here. Yeah. It doesn't exist here. It's almost like, do you want to see? It's like before an NBA game if they played a Globetrotters tape, against the Generals, and you're like, this is not. Why are you showing them this? Or
they're playing like it's somebody like they're playing the best thing. It's like Chris Kattan's coming up, and they're playing like the Mango sketch, the one everybody loves.
Yeah, right.
They're not even gonna fucking see that next week.
Yeah, that's not gonna be here. So stop showing them that.
Something very different is gonna be here.
When you go on the road, do you take somebody or no?
I have a couple people that I take, but I can't dude, I'm still making like low tier headliner money. Yeah. Like that's why I'm on here, baby. Book me, baby.
Book him, baby.
But like, if I think I'd be more comfortable if I could really take care of people more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's funny because I'll headline some, and then I open for Dan sometimes. Dan Soder, great
For the
guy,
Sody man.
hilarious guy.
I love that guy.
Greatest guy. But yeah, I do like bringing people, but I kind of want to. I want to get to the point, either next year or year where I'm getting paid enough where I can fucking take care of the guy.
And I feel that. Yeah.
Instead of just being
Soder's
like, hey,
doing the right
hopefully
thing.
you live feature pay and chicken wings.
Right. Free food. Free food.
Hopefully you don't lose money on this trip.
Well, that was the thing. I talked to Segura about that a while ago, about how, like, when we started and we were doing host or feature spots, the pay was the same as it is now.
It's insane, dude.
Which is comical. You're like, it's the same money? Nothing changed?
I heard somebody who's like writing on something now, and they're getting the same day rate. And I was like, what did we have the strike for?
Dude, I posted a picture the other day just as a bit on my story that I got I think it was at midnight, and it was a residual, and it was 1 cent. It was 1 cent.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, and then I wrote underneath it, I'm glad we had, that strike finally paid off. 1 cent. It was just like, what?
This is not worth literally not worth the paper it's printed on.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. So I just think, like, I think about that all the time. What was that strike for?
Yeah,
did we get the
sure.
thing?
I'm not sure. I think showrunners got richer.
Well, you've been in a bunch of writing rooms. I mean,
yes, I've done a lot of those. Have you ever done the writing room thing, or did you?
I've done like the pop in and then get the fuck out of there.
Like,
yeah,
the fun. That's the fun. Get paid
and leave. I never
paid.
wanted to be like in the muck,
in the shit.
No way.
Yeah,
I'm sure egos in those rooms. Like,
it's like comedy, dude. And you can spot pretenders a mile away
for sure.
Like, I've worked with guys who are incredible. Like, I worked with Dan O'Shannon or like Jess Dweck on a late night show, and they're like, again, it's like Jordan. They're just coming up. What was like I've seen Dan O'Shannon come up with a whole story like in front of me, like, but then I also have other guys that I've come with where I'm like, you are terrible. You are good at the interview, and you are not fucking contributing a goddamn thing. It's
pretty impressive when those people keep going through.
And
you're like, it's amazing.
These are people making money.
Oh yeah, of course.
These are people making money. I'll tell you exactly who I'm talking about after this, so you know never to hire him if you have a show.
Perfect.
But yeah, dude, you can pretend in a way you can't, because even with stand up, it's like you're still like, okay, even if you suck, you're still either drawing tickets or you're killing.
Right.
There's some reason that you're up there.
Sure.
But with a writer, you can kind of get away with
not doing it
completely. Yeah, completely. Like I've known people who can't turn in drafts, who can't write a draft, who somehow get like a producer level.
But the showrunners don't see through that and they don't fire you, or they can't fire you.
Well, it just depends. Some guys have a little bit of that. Have you ever seen the play or the movie 6 Degrees of Separation?
No.
With Will Smith, where he's like a pretender in the art world, and he just knows how to talk to all these. It's really good. He knows how to talk to these people, but really he's like a complete hustler.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys like that,
that just have the gift.
Now there's less jobs, so I think it happens less, but it still happens.
Would you want to be staffed on another thing again, or no?
If it was a great show, for sure.
Yeah, but what's a great show?
Like comedy wise, you see something like Righteous Gemstones, or that's just something I just pulled that out of my ass right now, or like F is for Family. I'm just thinking of the good ones. Just somebody just brought up F is for Family, but I'll take a job just for the money, but would I prefer that? I mean, the dream is you want to be. The helming your own shit, man. You want to be like, of
course,
your whole thing.
Well, we're all kind of doing.
Yeah.
We're all trying to like that. I watched Baby Reindeer. Did you watch that series?
No, I hear it's great.
Wow, dude! And it's
by
the guy.
Really disturbing.
It's dark. Yeah, it's extremely dark, and it's by the guy who had the experience. Yeah,
yeah.
And it's just kind of it's so truly his story that you're like, this is unmistakable. You couldn't fabricate this. It feels so organic. That's why I think people take to it, because it's not written for somebody else's voice. You know what I mean?
Well, Gunn wrote all the Peacemaker or whatever.
Yeah.
Which was great. That was like the best superhero thing I've ever seen. But he wrote all of them. He didn't have a room for it.
That's fucking nuts.
All 8 episodes.
The balls to do that too.
And it was great.
To be like, I'll do it. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But he had someone crack story, and then I'm sure helped.
I don't think he did.
Nothing?
I don't think he did.
See, that kind of stuff, that's where I go, Oh, I'm not talented at all. When I hear that stuff, I'm like, oh, never mind.
Well, he's like one of the very best. But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
But still.
but you know what? He'll have a thing where he's just made a bunch of great shit, and then he'll have his Black Adam, and then it'll be and that's
He'll do his Garfield
That's
movie.
why stand-up's so great, dude. It's like they can't take this fucking thing.
No, this
away
is
from
this is
you.
the equalizer for sure.
You know?
You can go back to it, and the proof has to be your
Like
ability.
you're great on Dave, and like how many shows before that where it was like, oh,
All
this
of them.
season,
Yeah, all
this
of
season
them.
I'm gone,
Yeah.
and the reason you were still in the convo is because of stand-up.
Yeah, because they
You
want
know?
you because they know that you have the work ethic and the ability and the skill set. It's just sometimes it doesn't play out.
Well, also, it's, like everyone forgets about everybody, so they're like, "Oh, Santino's still doing. Oh, he's doing a set at the store. Oh, yeah, that guy's good."
Yeah,
You know, like, and if you're an actor, fuck, dude.
I don't know how. Well, that to me, like I don't know how they stay alive if you're just like an actor that just like gets once in a while gigs. I never understood that because they underpay people so much now. I don't know how you could live on it. You literally couldn't. At least we can always go do shows.
Yes,
You know, you can always go do something.
Yeah, I
They can't go do like
it.
a fucking a spot, an acting spot for the night. They can't just go like find a way
How
to make
annoying would those shows be?
it the worst.
Just in LA too. Like you go to Burbank,
Yeah,
and
prop up
like,
plays.
oh, somebody's doing a scene from Streetcar tonight. You got to buy 2 drinks to.
Two? Oh, fuck. All right, I'll go see
I
him.
can't think of a worse entertainment than paying to watch actors do scenes all night.
I would kill myself.
I would kill myself.
Well, it's happening right now somewhere.
Of
Yeah,
course,
they're doing it somewhere.
Yeah, of course they're doing it. Somebody's paying for a studio.
Did you, when you were young, did you ever like plays? Did you like theater?
My dad's a playwright, dude. My dad just.
But did you hate it a little bit because of that, or no?
No, I did like it. I liked it more now. I haven't seen a play in forever now. Like the last. Oh God, what was the last thing I saw? The Ferryman, which was on Broadway, which is
Ferryman.
amazing.
Yeah.
It was this old Irish play where everybody fucking dies at the end. It's great.
Get out of town. It's such an obvious twist. You won't believe it. The Irish all die.
Well, they don't all die, but it's like the most Irish play you're ever gonna see. It's great, but it's the most Irish dark, like funny and dark, and I mean, and then I would get sick of it. It just depends. It's like there's like good and bad, you know.
Yeah.
It does suck when you're at a shitty musical and it's like 3 acts. You're like, fuck.
You've never left?
I have.
Yeah, you have to.
For sure. I've left movies too.
Oh,
You
I've
know,
left
of
so many movies.
plenty of movies.
I don't know why I've left so many movies lately. More and more now, I feel like you know what I left? I was in a mood where I was like, let's go see a fucking shoot 'em up, like a fun John Wick, the newest John Wick.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
too
walked out
long.
within 6 minutes.
I like John Wick, but it was fucking like 4 hours.
Didn't even get there. The first 6 minutes were so like a little too much for some reason. I was in a
Yeah.
mood and I was like, let's just go eat food. And then we left and went got dinner.
This
I
is
was
you
like,
and the wife?
Yeah, I was like, fuck this.
That was great,
Because I
dude.
was like, let's go see a fun shoot 'em up, disappear in the mind. Don't even have to think about it. Film. It's like
Yeah.
a mindless
It's
entertainment.
a great thing about being in a comfortable marriage. You don't have to do that like fake like let's go to a museum shit.
Right, dude.
But sometimes it bites you in the ass. Like, because me and my wife were like, oh, let's just stay. We had tickets to see the Killers, and we're like, oh, let's just stay in.
You got over that, huh?
And then we wake up the next morning and like Bruce Springsteen joins the Killers on stage.
Fuck.
And then of course, the first person I talked to is Ari. He's like, "Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It's the Killers, the greatest band ever. Oh my God, you're gonna regret that for the rest of your life." You know.
I don't know about the greatest band ever, Ari, but yeah,
Yeah,
they're a
really
pretty good band.
Well, you didn't
Yeah,
say that. But
they're a good band.
Love that guy. By the way.
No, but I bailed on stuff where I think maybe it's just an age thing too. You're tired and you're
Yeah.
like, I don't feel like doing that shit. I've done enough. I'm just busy. If you're busy, you just kind of get over those. Like, dude, one time we went to go see. I don't know if you know the band The National. If you ever heard
I
of those
love
guys.
the National.
Yeah.
I saw him here
So
in like 2000.
my wife and I have been seeing them for years.
Yeah.
They played a hotel cafe show, little tiny 80 seater. That's the first time we saw them years ago, and then they opened for REM at the Hollywood Bowl. And the ensuing year, they headlined the bowl, which was awesome to see. But they were opening for REM, and my wife hates REM so fucking much that we paid really good money, good tickets, just to see
them
the
and get
National,
out of
and then
there.
we left. Yeah, then we went to a restaurant, and got something to eat.
I don't think I'd be so much more excited to see the National at REM.
Oh, for sure. But the bummer was, they have worse sound, which always sucks about openers.
Because they're figuring it out.
Yeah, they have the sound is not tuned in for them yet, and then the sun was setting still, so it was like still
That's
kind of
always a weird vibe.
glaring. Yeah, it sucked. And then when they were done, I was like, "Well, should we stay for like one REM song?" She was like, "No." She fucking was like, "Absolutely not." I was like,
you
"You
also
got
got to
it."
be in the traffic. You got to get out of there.
Yeah, we
before
wanted to get the fuck
traffic.
out. Yeah, but we've done the bailout on stuff that I'm like, we should have gone. Like I had tickets to go to a fucking Laker playoff game, but we're moving, so we couldn't make it work. And I thought we should have just fucking gone to that. They were like really good seats. They were like almost on the floor.
Yeah, but did they win or lose?
They lost. Yeah, fuck them.
That was the Nuggets series?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't worth seeing.
No, not at all.
Those guys, that was like, that series was a wrap. As soon
So
as
who do you attach yourself to sports wise?
New York Giants, because I'm from Rutherford, New Jersey.
Right.
And the basketball's a little weird because I used to be a Nets fan when they were in Jersey, but then they moved to Brooklyn, and I'm like, well, this isn't my fucking team anymore.
But you're not a Knicks guy.
So I'm not. No, I'm a Lakers guy. I was like, fuck it. You guys moved to fucking Brooklyn. I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go across the country.
Yeah, I'm gonna join.
I'll go join the guys that moved from Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
That is an interesting twist, though.
Well, who's
'cause
your teams again?
all Chicago,
All
you know,
Chicago.
but it's hard to because we're, you know, it's painful to even talk about it all the time because we're always like on the hopeful, and then
When's the last time you guys
letdown.
won? Cubs. Who was the last?
Well, we won in 2016.
Yes,
That was huge. But
That
I mean,
was
prior to
huge.
that, it was 100 fucking years.
Yeah, well, I mean, besides the Bulls, just destroying.
Greatest team of all time. But I mean, you know,
Yes.
again, we can't seem to get right. Hopefully, the Barrels will do something this year. I don't know. I mean, I keep talking about
it's
it.
just,
Like
it's just so. I mean, if you're a Chicago fan and you just saw that, if you were a Chicago Bulls fan from Chicago, I mean, the rest of your life as a sports fan it's so unrealistic after that.
I don't mind that if the Bulls never get good in my lifetime after what I already lived through as a kid. So if we had it again, I'd be like, this is it's almost the way that like. Well, the Lakers have been blessed with just an unbelievable dynasty for so long.
Yeah.
They don't know what shit is. I mean, they do, but not the way that so many other cities know.
No, and they seem like they always figure out a way to like rebuild.
Well, quick because it's one of the
But I
best
think they're going to
markets.
struggle. I think they're going to struggle the next couple of years.
When Bron is gone, it'll be a different world.
Yeah.
But also, the markets are always going to win, like LA. People always want to play in LA.
Yeah.
It's the fucking spot. Every athlete I know, in their off season, they play here.
Are you friends with any athletes?
A pretty fair amount of athletes, oddly
That's pretty
enough.
sweet,
Yeah,
dude.
Retired too, which is also great because they all like to
Yeah.
golf, and I'm a golfer. So I meet a
that's
million retired athletes through golf because they all want to. That's all they want to do. Once they're done, they're like, I
So
don't
you
want
probably
to.
have some great Jordan stories you can't talk.
I got a
about
bunch of
on the
good stories.
podcast.
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk about. Yeah, but it's just great because that's all they want to do because they've spent their whole life in the gym and going to practice, and when they're done, they're like, I want to have a drink, have a cigarette or a cigar, and just walk. And
Do they
golf.
get like when you're on the golf course? They get like really competitive with you, or no?
Yeah, but there's only so many of them are good at golf because they're so good
you're
at
very,
something
you're
else.
very good, right?
I'm pretty good.
You're
yeah.
pretty good.
I'm not anything special, but I'm
Yeah.
better than the average guy.
But have you have you played golf with somebody who was like an insane like basketball or football player, but you're better at golf?
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can tell they're pissed off.
Yeah.
That's gotta feel.
I'll say it here.
Great,
The last
dude.
couple of times I played Pat Mahomes, I beat Pat both times. So that's right, Pat. You know it, baby. Yeah.
You beat Patrick Mahomes at golf.
Yeah, twice. Yeah, twice.
And I could tell because that guy, you could just tell
He's
he
so
gets
competitive.
so pissed.
Yeah.
You could tell like that guy can't enjoy playing fucking Go Fish.
No, but he's a good buddy. He's also he's so
yeah.
much fun. Like
he's gonna win forever, dude. That guy's like.
But I did just beat him by one the last time we played, and he was livid about that. Did not like that. By one, fucking drove him nuts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I beat him by like 4 strokes, 5 strokes,
Yeah.
whatever. By one is such a painful way to lose.
Oh, that's great.
That's like an
though.
athlete's
you
nightmare.
Beat the fucking Super Bowl MVP
Yeah, that's right,
at an
yeah.
athletic contest.
I know. Golf is a great equalizer.
That's amazing.
Golf is
dude.
the only thing that you can be a world class athlete, and someone,
look,
some
dude.
schmuck, some couch potato
John
can
Daly,
beat you.
right?
The king.
Like if you, that's what I said. If somebody's like, "Oh, if there's one sport you could be great at, what would it be?" I'm like, "Golf, of course, golf."
Yeah, it's so fun.
Like I can do it until I'm 70. I'm not
Right.
gonna get fucking CTE. You know, like fuck it. That's
Although-
amazing. Though.
Although one dude who was playing in this group near us, I saw get hit in the head with a ball, and
He go down?
Yeah, and you have a moment where you're like, that could have been any of us. That's so fucking scary. Just a little rock hurtling through the
just
sky.
fucking slamming
Yeah,
it.
it's a bad idea, but it's great.
Well, I mean, I sometimes like for whatever reason on my Instagram discover like it was a week of people who got hit in the face with like fastballs.
fastballs.
You ever had that on Instagram discover? It's like a week of like amputees, a week
Right.
of spiders. Like you're like, what fucking nightmare factory is happening?
What did I say one night?
What did I say one night?
That's what it really is.
That's what it is,
Here's
yeah.
you waking up in the middle of the night talking to your wife about a weird dream you had, and then it
Yeah.
just starts logging it in that fucking thing.
Jesus Christ, what a fucking dystopia.
What are
dude.
you doing now? Are you taking a break from stand up or you're touring heavy again?
No, I can't take a break.
But you
I gotta
just put
keep
out the
going,
special.
baby.
Do you have a new hour already?
I'm fucking 30 minutes in.
Wow.
25 minutes in. I mean, I gotta, I'm 25 minutes in, I'll say. So hopefully, I don't know when this is coming out, but 70% will be new if you see me.
Do you do stuff from the special that's out, or no, you don't touch it?
I try not, the last one I tried not to, and then I did 10 minutes from the special and then
hard.
30 minutes from.
People don't understand how hard it is, man.
It's hard, man. I mean, look, there's some people. I remember I was opening for Michelle Wolf, and she was filming her special, and she had 2 separate hours that she was bouncing. I was like, that's
Wow.
I cannot fathom that, but I mean, it's cool when I get to if I open for Soder, then it's 20 minutes. So I have all right, I have no excuse to do anything that's ever been on TV.
You just have to kill for 20 minutes.
I just have to kill for 20 minutes. And if I do anything that was on TV, fuck
you.
myself.
Yeah.
That's I'm kind of. But yeah, man, it's hard to build up new shit. Are you? So you're starting again. You're starting a new.
I have. I have
You have
an
good
hour
40?
that I'm presenting that is probably. I'm so close to it being carved out the way I want it to, but
that's great.
But I'm still removing stuff and putting in new stuff, and
So you're pretty going on this. You're not really. You're not. You're more trimming on this next tour.
I'm just learning how to place and puzzle it the way that I want
Right.
to do it, and then removing stuff that I've got sick of at this point because it's been 6 months of it where I'm like, I didn't even like that much. That's got to go.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
kind of cleaning off all the fucking fat, but
That's the thing that sucks about being in a room, though, man. You have a hard time writing stand up.
Yeah.
because you're using all that for
and that
somebody
mental
else's
energy,
dream.
yeah, that's tough.
That's the thing that sucks.
And if you take something from the room from those things, you feel weird about it when you're like, I
Yeah,
can't.
and
know
I have
said
before because I'm like, oh, they're not using this, and this was my idea, But it's just you only have so much creative energy, dude.
Yeah, your brain runs out.
So a couple hours, I really think we only have at most 4 hours of creative energy a day where you can come up
That's
with
a lot.
stuff.
I feel
which
like
is a lot.
2, yeah.
That's the max. So the rest of it's just emails,
Right. At some point, it's just business. It's business correspondence.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
business
rest of your
admin.
fucking day. Yeah.
Yeah, for the rest of it, it's making
But that's
sure.
the studio thing we talked about. I wish we had if we had a comedian compound, imagine where you could just create for a week or 2 straight without thinking about all the other bullshit and just write with other people. I bet you would put together something fucking awesome. If you just didn't have to think about the outside thing, the organization of life.
I wonder though, a bunch of stand-ups together. It's hard because we're all on our own.
Yeah, but
I work with. It's different because I work with a lot of stand-ups. I write with a lot of stand-ups. But if you took the best, if you put Chappelle, Chappelle, Louis, and I'm trying to think of Burr in a room, and they were like, okay, write a script together, guys. You think it would be good?
Yeah.
Or you do?
Yeah, I do.
I wonder if they would figure it out.
Dave would be pontificating in the corner,
Right.
smoking a lot, and just adding little beautiful droplets to it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Louis and Burr would be writing it back and forth and back and forth.
Right.
And then
yeah,
Burr
it
would
could probably be great.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be
I
so
don't know why
good.
it would be. I don't know why I didn't think.
It'd be so good.
It would be so.
I think it's also because a lot of those guys of that generation, especially those guys, are I think arguably are in our mental prime.
Yeah.
Performance wise is whenever they feel like putting
Well,
out
that's
some
the
new
cool
shit.
thing is I'm hitting 40. You're 40.
40.
That's our fucking.
This is the cusp.
This is the late 20s as a basketball player.
Yeah, it's
you know
cool.
what I mean. This is
Yeah.
supposed to be when
When you're humming, really.
where you're humming. Yeah, for sure.
Well, because when you get in the league and you first get in, it's exciting, but then you realize how little you are truly in the machine until you get a little older. Then you're like, oh, right. I thought that was it. That was not
That's
it. At
not
all.
it. That was when you're living and dying by those bits. And
Right.
Now you get a little more freedom when you're.
When if you heard someone had a bit similar to yours, you would lose your fucking mind about it, and now you're like,
Instead of
whatever,
now,
dude.
you're like, oh, what's their take?
Right, that's exactly. Well,
Because
one time
everyone's been done. Everything's
Fitzsimmons
been
and I
done.
had a fucking similar joke years ago, and I remember I went up to him and I was like, Fitz, because we're good buddies, and I said,
Yeah.
I think we've got something that kind of is near each other, and he goes, really? I go, yeah, and he goes, who does it better? And I was like,
That's such a Fitzsimmons
I know.
response.
I go, well, yours is much more, it's much more peeled out. Mine's pretty fresh. And he goes, I'll keep doing it then. I was like, oh, you fucking dickhead. I was like, all right.
Well, I love Fitzsimmons. He told me this one story where I guess like he came up with a bit, and then there was a much bigger comic who I'm not going to name who came up with a similar bit, was doing it after Greg, and then Greg saw it, and he's like, "Hey man, I really
That's my bit.
That's my bit." And the guy goes, "Well, I'm doing it on a special in 2 weeks." And Greg goes, "Okay." Next day he goes to the Laugh Factory, he tapes that bit. Puts it online just to spite the fucking guy.
Smart.
It's like it's great. I mean, Greg has so many of those. Greg is like doesn't take shit from. I haven't seen that guy in forever. He's so fun. He was like the first half hour I loved where I watched. But he when I was on his podcast, he showed me this video when he was on like the radio show where I guess like this guy who was one of his bosses was like bullying the guy who was under Greg, and you see Greg just take his glasses off, go up and just pop the guy, and the guy's towering over him.
Yeah, he doesn't give a
like,
shit.
No, he doesn't give a fuck.
No, he's a
like
tough
the angriest,
motherfucker.
funniest Irish guy ever.
Yeah, he's perfect. Well,
Yeah.
his response was exactly what I learned when I see how like young comics are with stuff. I go, oh, that's the way to do it. Just to be like, is yours good yet? I mean, I'm gonna keep doing it. There is no theft there. It's just like we have a parallel.
There's
thought.
only one time where I was like, that guy stole that bit from me. Because the premise and the punchline matched. And when I brought it up, he was like, oh, I guess we'll both keep doing it. And I could tell in his voice, I was like,
bullshit.
You saw me. I know the show you saw me at.
Yeah.
LA downtown.
You know exactly where it is.
I know
too.
exactly where it is. And ever since then, I fucking can't say
Well, that was always like a couple of older guys. They would bring around guys to punch up their shit.
Yeah.
And then sometimes those guys would stay after and watch other comics. And I would always be like, get this guy the fuck out of here.
Right. Get him out
You
of
write
here.
for that guy. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Well, they're looking for influence, 100%. They're looking for a crumb to come out of a comic and then take it for something else.
Well, you're still at the thing where it's like you've done, like, because your next stage is going to be like famous.
Or kill myself. Yeah,
or
either
kill
way.
yourself,
Yeah, 50-50.
right? But then, like, once you get famous, the amount of bits that you can do, it gets chopped by like 70%.
I know, right? It goes
Because then
down.
it turns into like, I was doing, oh my God, it's crazy. Like all those like Kevin
You ever had to
Hart
refuel your
closers.
private jet
Yeah.
in the
it's like-
Bahamas?
yeah, it's like, it was crazy. I met this person at the Oscars. It was crazy.
Right.
Every bit is like, it was crazy.
That is funny. It does turn into that. I feel like I don't have that in me to go buy into the drink the Kool-Aid that much because I've been surrounded by it enough. But it doesn't really interest me in a way where I can see people getting lost in it, right? Like I can see guys getting lost in it. I like that I can see it, but I don't know if that's a life that I would even be. I don't want to go near that. If I can stay doing what I do now for the rest of my career, this feels fucking great. This is great.
Yeah, you're in the perfect place because everyone likes you down. Nobody hates you.
Yeah, well, they do. No, they hate me, but it's also
But it's, you're not oversaturated yet.
right, which is what inevitably what
You
goes
gotta
to.
keep 'em
and then
saturated.
if you do keep them saturated, but then you do the thing where like Kevin Hart does, where he just bypassed all the saturation, not care, and then keep touring, and then it is what it is. He was so oversaturated that he was like, I don't give a shit. I'll just keep playing arenas until you don't fucking...
Because I'm writing for Nikki Glazer for this Tom Brady roast that's coming out.
Oh yeah, when is that?
And
When is that?
That's they're filming it this Sunday. I don't know when this episode. It'll probably be already out by the time this comes out. But
It'll come out in a
I
couple
was
weeks.
just like looking at like Kevin Hart like quotes, and I'm like, you're talking like you're Steve Jobs, like not even like you're a cop. It's like I'm about empire. It's like shit like that. Where you're
What are you talking about, man?
Like, what are you talking? I'm like, we get it. You're very successful.
I think because some people get so successful, the only way for them to justify how crazy this is to either become super religious or really promote the world of
What
like
if you
business.
became super religious, dude?
Me?
Yeah,
I might switch.
You like just fucking
God is
hanging
good.
out with like Mel and Shia LaBeouf in like some monastery where Opus Dei, you have like the it's carving in your ankle.
My ankles, yeah.
Yeah, just like fucking just angry at.
Did you have that as a kid? Were you religious as a kid? Did you go to
Nah,
church?
Presbyterian. We went to church. I like volunteered and
We did Presbyterian.
Yeah, which is like
It's Catholic light.
yes, Catholic light. But I did a missionary trip. I like went to Nicaragua to like build houses, which they didn't need us at all.
We did that. We did what was it called? Go and serve. That's what they called it. Go and serve.
Do you still go to church now or no?
No, dude, but I'm
Yeah.
not against it
I'm
at all.
not against it.
No, I think it's actually pretty rad if you find what you need out of it.
I think so too.
Yeah, I find what I need out
But
of
you
it.
still believe in
my
God?
way, 100%. I
Yeah,
mean,
I still believe
I don't
in
even know
God.
what it is,
No, neither do I.
but I do think that
I think we're connected to something.
100%.
Yeah.
I think if you've lived a little bit of life and by the way, if you get to 40 and you don't think you're connected at all, I think you're fucking, well, you're dim. If you think there's no connection,
Either dim or you've had a rough one.
well,
Yeah.
arguably, some people have the roughest ones. They find it to be more obvious that we're connected.
Yeah.
That there's the truth of it all to me is that you have no control. You have almost no control.
Absolutely no control.
So that's kind of the beauty, right? Like if you've experienced that through sobriety too, you do realize you're like, oh, this is fucking way out of my hands.
Yes, and I've also experienced that on drugs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do wish. You know, the last time I went to church, me and my wife went to a place in New York, and like we were really excited for it. But then they started like talking about like internet porn, and I was like, "Oh, this
At
fuck,
church?
This is like
What is
it's like,
that?
You got to stop watching." The pastor's like, "You got to stop watching this internet porn," and I was like, "You have a problem with internet porn,
Yeah, that's your
and
thing.
now you're projecting it on all of us.
You're
when
like,
I just want to.
I don't even like it that
I want to hear
much.
some New Testament
Yeah,
shit. You know,
dude.
come on, dude.
Tell me a story about a bush. I don't want to fucking hear about porno in the church. That is
Yeah.
the new thing with church, though. They're trying to attract young people, so they have to stay on the cusp of culture.
Yeah.
That was kind of when I went back to church with my parents one time when I was probably in my like late 20s. I remember the preachers or whatever they're called, not pastors or whatever.
Yeah.
Talking about like new age shit, and I was like, no, dude, be old school. I don't need you to
Yeah.
like know what the word cap means. I don't need a preacher to be like, no cap, shit's lit. I don't need the language of that to
Have
come
you ever?
through.
Do you follow that Instagram account, Preachers and Sneakers?
No.
it's great. It's just
Wait,
like
now
it's
I
like
have
a
to save
modern.
it.
It's a modern. It's just a guy who's
Preachers and Sneakers?
It's a guy taking a picture of like a modern teacher, and he just lists how much money the guy spent on this. And these guys talking about like poverty, you're spending like thousands of dollars on their
Preachers
like,
and
casual
Sneakers.
outfits. You
Right.
know.
Well, that's the new world. You have to be a entertainer and then a part of an enterprise. I was talking
Yeah.
about that earlier about guys that are like, if you don't have your wealth spread around to like a million different places, you're a fucking loser. It's like they're trying to make people who just want to live feel bad about just living.
Yeah. Could you ever see like was there one religion like a Scientology thing that you could see yourself falling for? Like probably not right now.
No,
right?
not really. I mean,
It'd be like a
only because
mark.
I had Catholic when I was a kid, and that one was
And
so
that
dark. It was so
yeah,
dark.
It was dark.
Yeah, like my mom, when my grandmother,
Very
when my,
medieval.
when my mom got divorced from my
Yeah.
dad, who was going to prison, my grandmother
Oh,
was like mad
didn't
about
know
it.
that.
Yeah. My grandmother was like shunning her for it. Like, you
Yeah.
don't get divorced. She's like, he's a fucking drug addict in prison. I'm going to get divorced. But it's like
Yeah.
the church had inundated my family so much that my grandmother was like mad about it. I mean, obviously she regretted that years later.
Right.
But it was like my mom was meant to feel bad about trying to save her own life.
Well, because there's just been like her mom got traumatized.
100%.
thinking-
And there was trauma and trauma and trauma.
Right,
and then
right.
trauma just gets laced down until one generation goes, all right, can we fucking chill out with all this chaos?
Well, they're in trouble. Yeah, I mean the Catholic Church is real. I mean the Catholic Church is like you think studios are in trouble with sitcoms. Catholic Church is really in trouble. You know they need a new multicam hit on their head. It's
Yeah.
like they need a Chuck
Chuck
Lorre
Lorre?
real quick. The Catholic Church.
The Big Bang Theory. Chuck Lorre needs to do that for the church, presented by the Catholic Church.
I heard the craziest. Somebody told me to work with Chuck Lorre. Heard the story about
I
him.
never met the guy.
I haven't either. I don't know if you want to work with him, so I don't know if I
No,
told-
no, tell
But
a
this
story.
is like the darkest story. Apparently, like he was on set at Mike and Molly, and he was watching
Internet
like,
porn?
no, like it was a cadaver. It was like because one of the characters was like a mortician. I think the girl that was on Eastbound and Down or whatever. And he goes, "That corpse looks just like my mother. If me and my sister still talked, I would take a picture, send it to her, and it would make her day."
Oh my
Like,
God, that's
holy
so
shit.
dark.
Like one of the biggest comedy creators is like just a haunted house, you know, inside. You're like, oh
If we
man, don't
still
open that
spoke.
room. Don't open that room.
That's so wild to think. It is weird. I talked to someone else about that, about people they don't talk to in their family anymore. A good friend of mine, him and his sister don't speak.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how long does that
Me and my
game
sister
go
aren't
on?
talking right
you
now
don't
either.
talk at all?
We're not talking right now. We're in a bad spot.
Really?
But like hopefully.
But is there light in the end of the tunnel? Like, will this
Maybe.
be resolved? Yeah.
Maybe.
Or does this feel like a fuck you forever thing?
Maybe. I don't know. It's in the middle. I hope it's not. You know. I mean, here's the thing: is I'm not going to get into it because she doesn't have a platform to like
Defend herself.
defend herself.
Yeah.
So that's not fair. But who knows, man? I mean, it happens when you get older. You start like having schisms and shit. Do you
Well,
have
yeah.
that with any of your family?
You know, for me, it's it's a personal issue. I have my lack of patience is awfully tough. So sometimes, my parents don't, you know, they're such good people and they just don't like understand this thing sometimes.
Yeah.
So when I try to explain some of the shortcomings of this or the troubles that I'm having, it almost sounds like, well, your problems aren't real. It's like you're fucking
Right. You didn't go to prison.
You live in fantasy town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that always creates a little bit of annoyance on my behalf, but it's also because I don't have the patience to. I'm never going to be able to teach you how to ski. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have zero fucking patience. My whole life, I've always been like.
So you just don't like. Was there anything that you've done that your parents were like, oh shit, well that was.
No,
pretty,
they've been proud, but
pretty
it's also
wild.
like it's just this doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything to them. This is
Yeah.
like they're happy that I'm happy.
Yeah.
They just want me to be happy, but this thing is very disconnected. My family's fucking all from Chicago. This
earth.
world is weird. It's a fucking. It makes no sense. And they
Well, my dad
believe
was
a
in
lot
this,
of it.
but yeah, for the most part, it's like
But your family has a connection to it. It's
family.
different.
No, it's like it. I couldn't imagine. I mean, I think it's so ballsy to do what you and the other guys have done, where it's like it wasn't in your family, and you're like, I'm just gonna try this shit.
Yeah, it was very
You know?
stupid. If I'm being honest, it's probably the dumbest thing I've done, but it
Did
paid
all
off.
right,
Yeah, it
but
did okay.
yeah.
But it also feels.
Trust me, I can give you a list of people who was stupid, but
But
you're not one of
the
them.
hard thing is, I guess, yeah, explaining this to people who kind of think it's kind of bullshit. It's bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
like my grandmother said before she passed away. This was one of my favorite things. I had like done television. I'd been on,
Yeah.
and my grandmother said to my mom one time, "How is Andrew doing in California?" And she's like, "Great." And she goes, when do you think he's going to be able to get a job? And she's like, "Oh, do you mean like another TV thing?" And she's like, "No, but at some point he'll have to get a real job." You know what I mean? And like at this point, I was like making money doing TV.
Yeah, my dad is very supportive, but my mom did not fucking.
She was like,
could
"Don't
not
do
give a
that shit." Yeah.
She would not impressed by anything. Like I would be like, I remember, you know, like big things would happen. I wrote for like the White House Correspondents' Journal with Michelle Wolf, where like we basically burned DC down. You know?
Yeah, it's great.
And my wife, yeah, it was really fun. My wife, Jesus, that was a horrible 40 slip. But my mom was just kind of like, yeah, why was she? I don't know. Why was she so mean? Like, didn't like realize the gravity of like I'm like, this is like the White House. Like, everyone's gonna remember this for like ever.
Forever.
Like, this is the biggest White House.
That's the purpose
But she's like,
of it.
why was she mean?
Oh,
you
God.
know, and you're just like, but that was my mom also was like very insecure, so she would, you know.
But those things, that's kind of the same comment when someone goes, "You know who I like?" And you're like, "I don't fucking want to hear it."
Right, dude. When I was in rehab, I got out of rehab in December, second time, and I showed my special to them because they were asking. They found out I was a comic, and they were like, "Oh, you did this? You did Conan, or not Conan, like Comedy Central, or whatever was big for them." And then they wanted to see the special. Did okay for them, like it got laughs, but then like right afterwards, somebody's like, "Dude, have you seen Matt Rife?" Like
So
they
you
were all
lasted
Matt Rife
You
fans.
lasted another 2 weeks in rehab. You're like, I need to stick
went
around.
on relapse, came back. What was my trigger? Hearing you guys talk about fucking how more successful Matt Rife is.
It is funny to think a guy would say that because I know his audience is mostly women.
Dude, it's not just mostly. I mean, he's I guess he's making money on top of money.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's
But,
selling
like,
out
no,
arenas.
it's like when I was there, the young kids. It was in rehab. It was him, Schultz, and then Shane, who was terrific.
Shaney, yeah, he's the best.
Terrific. Shane's like the best.
What was your drug of choice, by the way?
Booze to coke, but I was also addicted to pills. So
Pills are the worst.
Those are the three.
Pills will fuck you up the most.
Benzos are, my friend who kicked heroin said, kicking Xanax was way worse than kicking. When I kicked Xanax, I went to a detox, and it was the most physical pain I've ever gone through. Like that next week, like
Really?
I thought it was right when COVID was starting. We just heard inklings of COVID, and I thought that I was getting COVID and dying because my chest felt like it was caving in.
Wow.
But that was just, and that's the only one. That and alcohol are the only ones you can die from. You can kick heroin, you're not going to die. But benzos, booze, you could die.
Just from the withdrawal.
Yes, you have to taper off. You have to taper off.
It's fucking crazy. Xanax. How many were you taking?
I was taking like 6 a day.
That's a fucking lot.
Yeah, it was a lot, but I know some people were like taking twice that. And
Well, it's never a competition. That is always funny
Yeah.
about when you hear an addict, someone that's like
Yeah.
I think I heard a Dak Shepard thing where he's like, I drank 6 bottles of this and that and that. There is some sort of big fish theory that happens with addicts where you're
Yeah, oh,
like,
yeah.
you can't believe how many pills I had. It's like, I kind of don't, if I'm being honest, because sometimes these stories are fucking absurd.
Yeah, for
We're like
sure.
48 Xanny bars a day, and you're like,
Yeah, and also Dak Shepard, come on. That wasn't, Like when Kurt Angle tells me he was having like 40 pills for his broken neck, I'm like, all right, I believe that. But
Right, those things kind of line up.
Yeah, those
Well, dude,
guys-
everyone that wrestled in the 90s.
Oh my god, dude.
Everyone that wrestled in the 90s. The fact that anybody lived through that is fucking absurd. They were all addicted to everything they could. It wasn't like a pick and choose. It was like you had to take everything. That's the only reason you could keep functioning.
Yeah, I mean, like multiple times wrestlers would be like, "All right, what is it?" It goes, "Let's see.
We'll find out."
We'll find
fuck,
out.
that's so dark. I found a pill. Let's check it out. See ya. That shit always scares. I knew guys in college that I used to party with would take anything.
Did you ever have a thing, or you've been okay?
Booze has always been my
but
my
you've
romantic.
never had like a. Well, you've probably had moments where you're like, I think this is too much right now. But
Booze, yeah.
Yeah.
Drugs, no. I smoked weed for like 20 years of my life, and I still like to smoke a joint once in a while. But
yeah,
I smoked that. I was a fucking pothead for so long, and then I think when I got here to LA, A, I couldn't afford it anymore, and B, I was too focused on trying to get up that I was like, if I keep smoking pot, man, I'm never gonna go get up.
Dude, yeah, but weed's insidious because I was addicted to that for a couple of years. I mean, addicted is a hard term because you physically can't get addicted, but like I was smoking weed constantly. You know, I was smoking multiple joints a day and then having like 100 milligram edible to get it bad. You know what I mean?
Right,
and you're like, and it gets to the point where it's not like you're like under the covers being like, I'm scared. And I'm like, this is fun?
Yeah, no.
You're 36.
I hate
you
that.
know?
I hate that feeling of like, I'm so high, my brain is giving up, where it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. You go in the corner.
Yeah, you can't like finish a documentary. Like it's too much for you.
It's too heavy, too much story.
Yeah.
There's so much story going on.
I was watching a Bravo show with my wife high, and I was like, I can't. It's like Vanderpump Rules, and I'm like, this is too much for me. And I went and I passed out.
Why is she mad at her? Why is she mad at her? Well, listen, dude, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me on, man.
So everyone go watch the special. It's available right now on YouTube.
Yes, Dance Fatty Dance. It's on YouTube. It's free. And if you like wrestling, I have a wrestling podcast, Working Stiff, so check that out.
Go check those out. The links will be in the description down below. We end the show the same way. Look at that camera right there. You do one word or one phrase to end the episode, and it will be cemented in history. One word or one phrase, whenever you're ready.
We're always glad you came.
That's so good. Let me kill this. That's so good.
In here, we pour whiskey, 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 whiskey.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers, oh hell no.
This whiskey is